Right, so here we are again at the White Bear in Barnsley, and I'm just going to give you an update because obviously you saw the last film when we just started the demolition of the property. So what I want to try and do for all the property people out there is give you a bit of an update as we're going along and when the different fixtures and fittings are going in, so you can see the houses coming along. So you can see now that we've obviously bricked up the what was the extension there, and we're going to go inside and we're going to see the work in a second. But we'll have a look from the outside first of all. So the garden area is now in, and the drainage is now in for what's going to be this big, huge house. And if we come up here, this is a point where when you buy these properties, things look really, really messy. But to me, this is the exciting point when you get all this work done out of the way, and all of a sudden it starts all pulling together. We've put a new window up there, as you can see. And you'll now get a better view of it inside. When you get these old properties, what you have to do is you have to insulate the floor. So we've insulated, we've put the concrete down, we've put the insulation down, and we've put the screed on top. If sometimes people want to put an underfloor heat in, this would be the time to put it in now. But in this particular house, we're going to put the radiators in. So this particular cottage is a 3-bedroom cottage, and this is the downstairs, so as you can see it's quite big. What we've got to do now is we've got a sandblaster coming next week, and he's going to blast all of these beams up here, and he's going to blast all the upstairs beams, and we've got the staircase, which to be honest with you a lot of people would have thrown out, but it's an oak staircase. I mean, you can't even buy that for love nor money nowadays, and that's all getting blasted. And the price of that blasting for all the beams upstairs and all the arches and everything, and all the staircase and everything is about £1,200, which is good value because they are really, really good features in the house. So round to the next one, as you can see, all the windows in the pub have all been bricked up now. The reason for that is that when you buy these properties, and you get this kind of development, you can't have any overlook. So for example, you can't have windows that's overlooking this property, but you can have windows that's overlooking that property because they can't see into that property. So only one of the sides can have windows. The drive's now in for this particular house here, and we've also cut out these two windows here as well. There's our fantastic bricklayers there. And yeah, so we've cut out these two new brickworks, and we're putting some lintels, some stone lintels in there, and we're going to put some new windows in. Now, as you can see on this particular one, some of the stone is quite shot, and we had an opportunity. What to do is, do we render it all with like a machine render, or do we keep the stone? So what we decided, so this is at the back of the building, we're gonna render it, but we've done a bit of a trial area here, and we've put some new stonework in, and we've done some rendering and put some new stonework here, and it looks really, really nice. There's a couple that we're going to replace that are to standard. And when we get the windows in, the windows are going to be green. The windows will it'll look really, really nice. Now we hope to get these properties finished in about 5 weeks' time. That might not seem like a long time to you, but 5 weeks' time we're looking to get them ready, finished, on the market, landscaped, and we will be coming back another once before then to show you what the finishes are going to be like. So if we look at this part here, you can see we've got the wall in, and all of a sudden you can start seeing the format of the grounds now, and the big gardens that they're going to have, and the privacy that people are going to have. You can start to see now the size of the house, and I'll take you inside and I'll show you what we've done with all the stud work and everything. Oops, there we go. Obviously on these buildings, when you've got builders there, the great fun about all this job is you have a bit of banter with the builders, and it's important to keep that going, because people work for people that they like. Before we go inside, I've got some advice for all you budding property people out there that want to get involved in watching this, that want to get involved in property. And we're going to be going through different parts of that with this website. But the key to keeping the cost down on a property, and the key to making good profit, is about people. This is a people business, and you're working with people. You're working with tradesmen, and you're working with labourers, and you're working with people obviously coming to give you prices for stuff. And there's two ways to deal with this situation. Is you can employ your own people if you want, but we always get contractors in nowadays, because that way you'd have to pay holiday pay and sick pay and all the rest of it. You can either get a price for getting the job done. So for example, if I got a price to get this rendered, or you can pay people on day rate. Now, if you pay people on day rate, it can work out cheaper because you can get more done, because sometimes people are scared to give you a price. So what they do is, when they give you a price, because they don't really know how much it's going to cost, they normally think of a price and then add quite a lot on, and you end up paying an awful lot more. So when you are running a site, if you want to get it done on day rate, do not think for 1 second that your tradesmen are going to get there on the morning, have the cup of tea and start working, be working all day for that day rate. You've got to have some discipline. You've got to take my advice. If you're getting them to start at 8 o'clock, get here for 7:30 yourself on site, and make sure everybody's set up for the day. Make sure they've got all the tools and everything that they need to do, and crack them on for the day, because there's no room for slackness on these. And trust me, tradesmen will take the mickey, and labourers. If you're going to make money, you've got to either make sure you've got somebody really good on site that's keeping denying things like I have here, or you're here doing it yourselves to start with. So we'll have a look round, and that is absolute key to success. So now we're putting all the wires in, and we've got somebody's left us a nice little sign on the wall. Look there, look. The end is nigh. I hope not, because these getting all the wires in. This is called the first fix. So obviously we put all the stud work in, put all the wires in for the first fix. And what normally would happen is the electricians would come and give you a price on the first fix. Now, electricians, for all you thousands of people out there, normally work for about £40 a day. Maybe I've got that wrong. But seriously, they do what you call a first fix, and and then what happens is you'll see upstairs, everything gets boarded out, and then it gets plastered. And then your electricians and your plumbers come back and do a second fix. That's when they can start fixing all the stuff on the walls. So, if you remember rightly, that this is the kitchen area, and then coming through here into the big, huge lounge. Now, so just to give you an example of roughly what it would cost for the windows and the doors for this place. I mean, this is a huge place. It's a big, massive 4-bedroom house it's got bay windows, it's got composite doors. If you're not careful and you don't do your job right, and you go around pricing the windows up and the doors up, you're going to get your leg lifted. So it's important to get a good thing going with a good window company, and get 3 or 4 different prices. Now, I had prices ranging here from anywhere between £5,000 for all the windows and the doors to £17,000, and there's no difference in the profile. So always go and make sure you get loads and loads of different quotes. Don't be scared. People will give you quotes, and then when you do get a quote, go down and try and knock them down some more. So come upstairs, and so you can see the wires are all in for the first fix. So these guys come downstairs, yep. And we'll come up here. All of a sudden we're getting some light in here now with a new window that we're putting in here, and you can see now that it's really starting to take shape. We've got all the board work done now. Do you remember this old bathroom that we looked at, and the cylinder cupboard? And what's great here is, if you can, try not to just create like a normal bathroom. Just 4 square walls. It's just do something a little bit different. What we've done here is we just put a little bit of 2x2 stud work down, and we put an area in here. What we're going to do is we're moving, instead of putting the boiler on that wall, which most people would do, we've built a little boxing area for this boiler here. so it can vent across there, and then down here we're going to put some spotlights coming down, and we're going to put the big double sink here, because what sells a house is the kitchen and the bathroom. They're the main things that sell the house, and of course lots of room. But women are big influences when it comes to buying property, and they all like a nice kitchen and a nice bathroom. So spend that little bit extra if you can on the kitchen and the bathroom. Make them nice, but not just 4 plain walls. Do something just a little bit different. There's loads of ideas on the internet, loads of things that you can use. So this is the bathroom, and if you remember this big bedroom now, and we've got the plaster working now, and all of a sudden, from being just bare walls, we get some plaster on the wall, and it starts looking really, really nice. We've got an ensuite dressing room here, and we've also got an ensuite bathroom. So we've taken what was a massive bedroom, and now it's still a really big double bedroom, and what we've now done is we've created an ensuite dressing room and an ensuite bedroom. And for just a little bit of extra money to do this, maybe another £500–600 in the work that's involved doing this, you've got something that's more sellable now to the people that's out there looking for properties. It makes it a bit different to what's normally out there. And you can see, again, we've got another big room, fantastic views over there. And remember, people, this was purchased for £185,000, not just for the pub, but for the pub and the 2 cottages that's out there. Unbelievable value for money, and a great project, and it's starting to look really, really nice. This, if you remember rightly, you probably won't remember, that this wall was just full of this crappy wallpaper, and a lot of people try to just get away with it, or Artex. Now, what you see here is something called blue grip. You can buy a pink grip and you can buy blue grip. And this is like a textured paint that you put on before you plaster it. So if you've got any old scabby walls, like this for example, see like this with some loose flaky stuff, and if you try plaster over that wall, the chances are it's going to crack and the plaster is going to fall off, and you can go on forever and ever and ever prattling about with it. But if you paint this stuff on the wall, this blue grip, it fills in all them cracks, and what happens is when you put your plaster on, it sticks to this like glue, and it makes a really, really firm thing. So if you've got any of those old walls and you're scared, you don't know what to do with them, you don't need to board them over. If you just want a skinny wall, put this grip on the wall. It's absolutely fantastic. Another nice big bedroom here. Put the new window in. This didn't have this window in before, so we put this new window in. You can see we put these lintels in. A lot of people are scared of putting new windows and doors in and think it's a massive job. We're going to go through the process of how to do it later on, with having to put what you call acros, and then chopping your window out and then getting your lintels in. We'll show you how to do that at another stage. And the 4th bedroom there is just a bit dark at the moment, so we'll go back downstairs, and you can see it's shaping up lovely. So when we come back here in another 2 weeks, the whole job will all be plastered, all be first fixed, and it'll be ready for decorating. And as I said, 5 to 6 weeks, these properties are going to be ready for sale. Right. Okay. So these are the beams that I was telling you about that we're getting sandblasted. And what happens is, sometimes people don't know what to do with these beams and they box them in. But look at them. They're made of oak. They're absolutely fantastic, and they make great features. So you've got a little bit of woodworm, as you can see here. And obviously you go right to the top there. So what we're going to do is, when we get the sandblasting and you've got these lovely wooden pegs in here, we're going to shot blast them, and they'll take them right back, and then we're going to treat them with some woodworming liquid, and then what we'll do is we'll put some wax on and shine them up. But as I said, for both barns doing upstairs and downstairs, it's £1,200. But if you try to do this yourself, can you imagine the labour intense that you'd have to go to with a sander and a mask? I mean, first of all, your lungs are going to get full of dust, but secondly, it's going to take you forever to do it. And you'll see the difference that when a shot blasting company comes in and does it for a small amount of money, what a massive change it's going to make. And they'll do all these beams up here as well at the same time, and they'll look like $1 million. So look at the size of this area up here. You know, this is now going to, we've made a new window, and this is now going to be 3 bedrooms with a bathroom over in the corner and 3 nice big bedrooms. And then, of course, next door is just the deleter next door. So we're going to go downstairs now, and we're going to talk to Steve, who's our bricklayer, and we're going to listen to him being really, really positive about how he's going to take these bricks out and replace them. So I'm just stood with Positive Steve at the moment. I'm stood with Positive Steve, the bricklayer. So we're just discussing now the bricks and whether it's best to render the building or whether it's best to try and replace some of the stonework. From an aesthetic point of view, to replace the stone would be far better because they're lovely stone looking barns. From a price point of view, we'd probably get more money for it if it's if the barn's in stone and not in render. But a time point of view, that's what we've got to take that's what we've got to look at. So I'm just talking to Steve on it now. So on this area here then, Steve, do you think that we could take some stones out of the back? You know, because obviously the back's going to get rendered. Yeah. If we could take some nice stone out of the back where it's not been where it's been protected and put some of the
well, we have got
breeze blocking.
We have took some stone out already.
Yeah.
So it's a case of what can we match up for courses like these and the size of them.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's just your 2 sections on the end that are your worst 2 sections.
Yeah. Well, the end section at that gable anyway, that's going to get rendered because that's not going to get seen. Yeah. So I wouldn't be interested in doing that far gable anyway. No. At that side.
Yeah, it's just your.
It's just the front and this here as well.
Yeah.
I'd love one, please, mate. Thanks. This is Mr. Stripe, by the way, everybody. Mr. Stripe.
It's just this.
Yeah, you're going to have to move that breeze block back as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to have to take that breeze block back out now.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to replace that with a stone.
Shall I tell you what I'd do, Steve? Why don't we just concentrate on this one house first of all? Yeah. Just this front end, and let's do that and just see how long it's going to take us.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Fine. No, that's
fantastic.
Fine.
And as I said, we can take the stone out of the back and replace it with a breeze block.
Yeah. And then all the good stone that we have took out already where we've been forming the windows, we can keep all that, because it will be a match, because it's all been built as one, as you know.
Oh, so, fantastic,
So we can try and save as much as we can that we've already taken out and see how we go.
Yeah, I was telling this, they've got this window here, look.
Yes.
I was just speaking to Matt about it, and I think what we need to do is, I think we need to take some of that stone out above, prop that window up, because it's a bit slanted, isn't it? And
but that's what they did in them days, isn't it?
Yeah, but obviously that's them days. This is
ours.
This is these days.
Yeah.
So as you can see, this window's all slanted. Yeah. So don't be scared, people. There is a little bit of work involved, but all you need is somebody like Steve, right, on your team, and it's never a problem, is it, Steve?
No.
Fantastic.
Everything's doable.
That's what we like to hear, isn't it? Right. So obviously here we are upstairs with Matt, who's in charge of the job, and we've got Chris here as well. So we've just been having a bit of a chat this morning about Chris, because we told him there's nobody with ginger hair allowed on site. But he's telling me his hair colour is African sunset.
Yeah,
is that right, Chris?
That's correct, yeah. We just got a bit of an issue at first. At the moment, it's only first fixed electrical, so we're not getting the best lighting in. So I can see where the mistake's been made. That's where we're at.
All right. So Matt's in charge of the job. So what I'm saying, Matt, is that we reckon that we're going to be finished in about five to 6 weeks' time, all done and dusted.
Yeah,
do you think that's realistic?
Definitely.
Is it? And can you tell us what's obviously you've got this job going, you've got some great guys on the job, we're having a bit of banter and what have you. What's the secret of running a good job?
Organisation is key, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. And obviously the lads, good lads like Chris, he pulls his finger out of it and gets his walls skimmed, and it's definitely organisation and the blokes that you get. That's
right. Okay. And I mean, obviously, I know that you're big into the gay scene these days. Does that help with the banter and everything that you get with the lads?
I had a really good night of yours on Saturday, actually. We were on the karaoke and all sorts.
So, what we're saying about is on the morning, how important it is to get the lads here on the job early and what have you. And what's your views on mobile phones? I don't mean the subcontractors. But obviously, because they're on a price. But if somebody's working on a day rate, what's your view on mobile phones on site?
Well, to be honest, the guys that we employ, they're not really big on. We don't have time wasters, so we keep a close eye on that. But the lads, they come in to graft, and that's it really.
I'm just going to take a call.
Yeah. But some people tell us that we're getting calls in, and they're saying they find it difficult to find tradesmen, and they're wanting top dollar and all the rest of it. I mean. There really is tradesmen out there that want to work, isn't there?
There definitely is, yeah, there definitely is. And they want to see some work in front of them as well, so when you've got a lot of jobs ahead of you, then that helps, doesn't it, to keep
That's great. Team. Because we were speaking about that you've got a great team together now, and that's because you always keep them in front with jobs, because we've always got plenty of work to do, haven't we?
Exactly, yeah.
And obviously when you go from here, what's the next project that you're going to be getting onto?
We've got one at Featherstone, haven't we, next?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a large one. That's five houses and potentially some apartments, I think.
Yeah. So what we're looking to do on that job is one that we showed you before. We're looking to create a pub like this, but create 5 houses out of it. And then on the car park, we're looking to put a block of 16 apartments on there. So, have you always been a plasterer then? Is that what you've always done?
I had a brief spell in commercial finance the other year.
Yes.
Back to what I know best.
Yeah.
Leading to help out Matt with a few other trades.
Yeah, Matt was telling us before that you were in commercial finance, and what were you doing? What made you finish that job? Was it COVID?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and for something like that, I didn't have enough. You paid for your network really. Yeah. And I was still in my infancy in the role, so I've come back to what I know, and I'm really enjoying it. Especially as part of projects like this, it's fantastic. Yeah, it makes a massive difference, doesn't it, that when you see an old crappy walls like this, and your job, being the plasterer job, to me is always really important, because you're the guy that covers everything up and makes everything look brand new again. Yeah, to be honest, that is the best part of our job, because customers come in, old crappy walls, breeze block walls, and at the end, wow, this is fantastic. And sometimes that means more than money to you. Oh, right. Yeah, it's the best part of my job. That's really good to hear. Right, thank you. So the only problem about sometimes coming on site is you get this like builder's tea. I mean, I've got a posh one today, but I won't dare to think how many germs are on that cup. But you've got to drink it because you've got to show that you're one of the lads. But yeah, take your life into your own hands. But yeah, lovely is that.